Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So today I'm gonna talk about my battle jacket and I'm gonna talk a little bit about each patch and how I got it and all these things. I have more than just bands, mostly bands of course, metal and goth stuff, but also a few other genres and also a few other things that I like that I wanted to have on it. So here I have some ladder lace on the very top. I'm gonna start from the left and from the top and from the left. So, well, it's my right actually, but you know, your left, I guess. So I put some ladder lace here in and some ribbon intertwined there on both sides. Because I just wanted something cute to go with it. It's pretty sturdy, I would say that it's not really about to get undone at any point, although of course it is kind of a delicate detail, but it's something that can be fixed and mended. I have, as you can see, the Marina patch here, which is one of several that I made. I've been getting into embroidery lately, and so I ended up getting into this idea of embroidering my own certain logos on my own, mainly because I wasn't able to find certain patches, or I just wasn't quite convinced with what I found, or the sizes that I found weren't quite what I wanted. So as you can see, it says Marina and it has the hearts from the Electro Heart era, which is not actually my favorite album by her. I would say my favorites is either Fruit or the latest one, Ancient Dreams, but I figured that this would be an easier logo to make on my own. And I have this Barbie one that I found on a local stand, I guess you would call it, on the streets. And I was like, hey, that's pretty interesting. I would like to have that on my jacket, so on my battle vest, so why not? And which, by the way, just calling it battle vest is kind of I guess it's a misnomer because I've never actually worn this. I mean, it's pretty recent, so of course I've never worn it to a show. And as you know, I do have some issues with agoraphobia since 2019. So it just so happens that that was right after the last show that I went to. It has not been to any battles, and it's probably, maybe will not be to any. But, you know, I like it. I think it's nice to have it. So I have the Bauhaus logo. This one I bought from a local store and I've had it for a while now. The Sodom patch, which is slightly onto the part here of the pocket, but it can be lifted like this so it doesn't get in the way. I also have this pin here, which is that of a snake that is kind of writhing around a school, and then it has some roses around. And I also bought it at a local store, and I was like, it was like a stand with a few pins, most of which I also have here, and I just thought it was cute. Another one is this carcass patch. I was kind of, I guess, lucky to find this because I haven't seen any of these online. I bought this locally, and it's a pretty interesting embroidered patch. It has all of the details of the kind of surgical tools around here. Another handmade one is this one, the Nico Desert Shore one. As you know, this is one of my favorite albums, and this was actually kind of a whole thing because I didn't know where to get embroidery, kind of like the paper to stencil to use for a stencil, right? So I ended up buying something that I thought that was it, and that they told me at this sort of craft store that that was what I was looking for, and it really turned out to not be that. And I tried submerging it underwater and it didn't go away, so I had to like keep cutting around it. But anyways, I also have this other pin. It's this cat that is just kind of stretching in the shape of a crescent moon. And I have these patch that I got from Etsy, this Dead Can Dance one. I really wanted one of the first album, and it's kind of a printed one, like a t-shirt kind of, and I'm really glad I got it. It's really, I just like both the album specifically and the album cover, although I like a lot of their albums of course, but I feel like this one is just one that I keep going back to over and over. And this one is kind of funny because it says love is colored than death, but I didn't really know at the time that it wasn't that easy to embroider with metallic thread. And I just took some random metallic thread that I found at the craft store, and I took like two or three threads, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It was very difficult to work with, and it kept slipping out of the needle, and it was just a pain in the ass. And it also made it so that the design looked kind of weird, and you can barely tell that it actually says love is colored than death. But I am planning to remake it at some point, but I do want to have this one here in the meantime. I also have this kind of embroidered detail of flowers that I've always had. My mom kind of had that in her sewing kit. She's had that for a while, and I took it at some point, and I was like, oh, I have to make something with that. And I figured that it was the perfect size to cover this empty space here. Some other pins that I have are these ones, the Sisters of Mercy one, and this one that I also got from, again, a local stand that says living in perpetual sin. So going to the left side, I have this one. This is another one that I made myself, and it's the Gathering logo. I was not able to find any patches of the Gathering, any at all, and I was like, well, I have no option but to make one myself, and I ended up making a very simple one, even though their music is really not simple. It's definitely a little bit on the more complex side. I mean, that probably sounds pretentious, but you know what I mean, it's a bit more grandiose. And of course I have my two Yu-Gi-Oh patches here. I got this from Etsy. Both of them I actually got from the same store. I will link it down below because I forgot the name right now. And I made sure to have the 5Ds one here on the same side where they would have the logo on their own jackets in the anime. So yeah, that's just something, the kind of stuff that I really gave a lot of thought to. And I have these other pins, as you can see, this Portishead one, and this one that is of this half girl, regular half girl face, I guess, and the other side is a skull, and both of them move independently. And on the side of the Portishead, I also have a handmade one, which is Massive Attack. I made it with a sort of yellow to orange thread, and it moves around a little bit. And that's something that I found quite difficult with embroidery, that straight lines really do appear that they're gonna stay that way, but they end up moving around once you submerge them in water. And I don't know, but it does look pretty good. I feel like it really does look like it says Massive Attack, and you can tell what logo that is, what album that is from. I also have the Cryptopsy with the logo part here is replaced with this whole embroidered patch, and I'm not extremely convinced. I feel like this is one of the few things I could find of this album cover. So, you know, I'll take what I can find, but at the same time, it does bother me that the colors are not extremely vibrant or anything. And I also have this Theater of Tragedy one. So this one I got, both of these I got from the same local store, and this one I bought online. This is the back of the jacket. Oh, and I'm not sure if you could tell from this, looking at it from afar, but it kind of does have a color coding thing, because this side is more pink and red and, you know, neutral colors, and this side is more like the yellows and the oranges and all that. More or less, there's more or less a theme going on there. Here I have my Iron Maiden one. This is from the Legacy of the Beast tour, which I did go to. That was in 2019, right before I started developing agoraphobia, just a few months before actually. And this is a Trust No One patch, which, by the way, I just gotta say, I mean, I've been actually getting much better in terms of agoraphobia, in terms of daily activities, right? Like going to the store and going out with friends and stuff like that. I do feel like going to concerts is a little bit of a different level that I'm not sure if I can really handle. But I do feel like therapy and medication really have made such a difference. And I guess also the fact that I got treated early enough and I didn't wait until the symptoms got even worse. But let's just keep going. So Trust No One patch, my X-Files patch, very cute. I love that it's pink as well. And I also got it from Etsy. This one I also made, this mortal coil. It's supposed to be white, but the colors, the pen, which is really more of a marker that I used for the stencil, was colored pink, and I figured that it wouldn't stain, but it did. So it's a little bit of a white pink color in the end, but I don't really mind too much. And the Gorgots one that I also made, I'm very proud of this one actually. I feel like it does look almost like it's professional, especially from afar. If you look at it really closely, you can kind of tell, especially with the border type, with the BS tape and all that I used, it doesn't look very professional. But I'm okay with that, and I love how it looks and the fact that it's purple and it really goes with the theme, the color scheme. I really love that as well. Then I also have this candle mask one that I bought from the same local store. As you can see, my back patch is death symbolic, and that's been my favorite, one of my favorite top 5 at least albums for several years now, pretty much since I started listening to metal. So it has to be. And I also love the album cover. The artwork is really beautiful. I was kind of between that one and Non So Vile, but I feel like I've been loving this one for a longer time. And also the t-shirts of Non So Vile, of the album artwork, were so expensive, and I was like, oh my god, if I buy one, I'd rather wear it as a t-shirt because I would get more wear from that than from this. But anyways, so under it, right under, I have my Bolt Thrower patch, which I also bought locally. And then Susie and the Banshees as well. I have a better version of this patch with kind of the eye design, but I have that on my backpack because it doesn't fit very well in this layout. And I also made this X Japan one in blue. I also had one. I bought one that was red, but the design was a little too large to fit well on this vest. So I decided that I would make my own, and also to kind of match it with the color scheme. I also have this blonde redhead one. Can you see that? Okay. And I am very proud of this one because I feel like it looks really good. I took it from my favorite album by them, even though it's actually one of the more complex logos they've made, but I also really like the logo itself. And I feel like it does look a lot like the actual design. And I also like that the color is like this light pink, and it's actually the color that it is on the album itself. And there's also this Paradise Lost one, Gothic. I love this album, of course. I do feel like design-wise, layout-wise, it does look a little bit bare on this side. But I mean, it's an album that I like, and it's a more vertical design, so it fits the layout well. And also color-wise, it's a bit more muted than the rest. But again, the point of the vest is to display what you like, so you know. I also have this one that I made as well. This says, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it says The Cure Pornography. I don't feel very confident about this one. This one also cost me a lot of trouble, mainly because of the font that it uses. It's just a little bit difficult to get right and to have it be legible and for you to be able to tell that it actually says those words. I feel like it's a bit harder to see. Maybe from afar it's actually easier than from up close, because it does stand out. And I was also like unsure about what color to use. Sometimes red doesn't really stand out that well over black. So, but the album artwork is red mostly, and a little bit of orange and a little bit of pink. And I was like, well, I might as well use the lightest color that I can get that matches that color scheme. So I decided to go for pink, and it's kind of a Barbie pink, really, if you look at it. Tell me whether or not you can actually tell it says The Cure Pornography. But yeah, I'm very proud. I feel like I really put a lot of work and a lot of time behind this. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it useful or helpful in some way, and I'll see you in the next one.